I am currently a second year PhD student of engineering mechanics at Virginia Tech. Prior to this, I got my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering in 2020 from NIT Trichy in India. And subsequently, I worked as a software developer in a numerical software company in India. There I got exposure to high performance computing for physics based problems and then decided to do a PhD. So without going into too many details, like I would say my research revolves around computation, solving complex physical problems using numerical techniques, optimization, and HPC. I also plan to generate a large amount of data with these simulations, which would then be fed into machine learning models for prediction of even more complex physics. An example of that could be particle ingestion into aircraft engines and damage because of that.
Mm-hmm.
After my PhD, I want to start my career as a computational scientist with expertise in numerical techniques, HPC, and machine learning, and thus was looking for similar internships for summer 2024. And since you have also been a PhD student once and you have written a lot of papers, I have seen that, and you have been in the industry for like more than 2 decades. So I really want to hear like what you think in terms of like looking for internships or in terms of career as a whole. And I had a couple of questions which I'll just like brush through like in like 1 or 2 minutes.
Sure.
So yeah, so one of those was like given my position like as a kind of a fresh PhD student. So what would be some of the most important things uh, you would want to do if you were in my position in order to land an internship at national lab or numerical software company? And then regarding the application process, do you think uh, applying online is like writing cold emails, or is it fine, or I should first connect to current employees of the company on LinkedIn and then get a referral and thus apply? Like which one is better? And then uh, uh, sort of like in terms of like a long term like career, like I experienced that there seems to be a trade off between writing papers like in the during the PhD and developing skills like relevant to the industry. An example could be right, if I'm using some industrial software to run simulations and I write papers, I get a lot of expertise in that area. But when it comes to developing those modules or codes myself, there seems to be like there is really less time to get those skills. So how would you prioritize, right? Prioritize both these things, also get your PhD on time, balance these things kind of. And also like since you have been in the industry for more time than you have been in like academia, so what do you think about the possibility or the ease of shifting between like different industries, given you have like a diverse set of skills? Like how easy is that, or it's difficult, like kind of like that? So like the big picture of my questions like would be this.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
So, let me answer them one by one.
sure.
So, the first question that I think you asked was about the internship, right?
Right.
So, to be honest with you, um,
Mm.
I don't think there is a magic to whether you will get an internship or not. It just matter of you applying for the internship and were able to get it. I mean, one of the thing I will say for you from your CV, being a PhD student, you might want to. What I don't see in your CV here is any publications or presentations,
Right.
and also I don't see any sort of a leadership activity or anything that you are involved in other than you develop code and all that.
Okay. Okay.
This in US, I mean, it values quite a lot what you are doing other than just passing exam or
Right.
coding or whatever
Right.
you academically you have done.
Right.
So get involved in those sort of a things. I remember one time interviewing a couple of Tesla interns, and there's a video actually in my YouTube channel.
Right, right,
And if you hear them, one of the things that they said is for them getting involved in any applied project was very helpful. Like undergrads can get involved in um, um, design projects or things like
right,
that, was extremely helpful. And same goes for you also. What if you can be involved in some sort of a applied project, um, um,
mm,
would be helpful. One of the thing I would say, you probably want to do a little bit, we want to probably get involved in student organization bodies, which are
right,
either related to ASME or materials and things like that.
mm,
Get involved and
mm,
be a part of those organizations, do activities and
mm,
things like that.
mm,
Those would be helpful also, because other than that, how you can get noticed is through networking, right?
right, right,
As you said, very rightly, cold emails you don't want to do, and nobody wants to see them also.
right, right,
You have to you have to go through some sort of a network, right?
right, right,
Either that person you know through your advisor, or that person you know through your PhD, or that you have met that person in some presentations,
right.
or something like that, right?
Okay, okay,
And if that is the case, the probability of them answering your emails is much higher.
okay, okay.
So as I said, you want to work that on your CV, but one of the thing I will definitely tell you, you probably are just second year graduate, but by the time you finish your PhD, you want to make sure you have a good amount of publications and and
Okay,
and presentations in your CV. If they are not, that will be a big bummer.
okay, okay, okay,
And also, one of the thing that I want you probably want to take care of it is, if you want to stay in US, that is only true. If you want to go to academics, that's also true, is to
mm,
have publications.
right,
Just having a mere PhD won't help you quite a lot. If you
mm,
have a publications with good citations and all that, and the early you can do, then only you can have more citations.
right.
Because
You are
by
right.
the time you graduate, let's say in your first year you have a paper, or second year of your PhD,
Mm,
and that might have some more citations, versus you are finishing your PhD and writing papers, because
ye-
paper without citation has no meaning again.
right, right,
And if you don't have that, a lot of students after that look for job and all that. And in my case, and a lot of my friends I know, it was difficult for us to find a job, e- because of visa
okay,
issues, and then we had to have a green card, and you cannot, it will be extremely difficult if you don't have citations.
right. You are right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
Okay,
can do all the good research, but citations mean people are recognizing it, right? So if people don't recognize it,
mm,
there's no meaning.
yeah, yeah. I completely agree with you. Actually, I had this question like regarding this. So usually, like in the academic world, like your publication is like your medal, like that is how you are recognized. I was like, I may be wrong, but I was under the impression that if you go to the industry, like they do look at the your publications, but they
Yeah,
would also be interested.
industry will be little relaxed,
Ah,
but
okay,
it doesn't mean that you want to have zero publications, because as a PhD, not gonna work at the floor shop, right? You are gonna work with
right,
some R&D
right,
organization,
right, right,
and
right.
the people are there are gonna look into all of them. You will talk are PhDs, and they will look
Yes,
at. I'm not saying have 20 publications, but at least have five, right?
right. Yeah, I
So
get your point.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, if you have 20, you probably will be good in applying for academics.
Yes,
But what
yes,
I'm
yes,
saying,
yes.
even for a good industry, if you because it's not about writing paper, or they know, it also tells you that you can write something.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's just not this is not just about okay, I can I want to write have publication because I want to get my green card. It's about I can write technical writing, and most of
Right.
the time you probably end up doing it,
Yes, yes, yes,
no matter where you go.
yes, you're right. Yeah.
So have that.
Okay, okay.
And and then, as he said, it has a multifaceted advantages other than your green card and all that also, because if you
Yes.
don't have that, that's going to be a big problem.
Okay, okay. And regarding that, I actually have publications, but uh, I don't know. I have been getting a lot of talks from different people. So I mean, some of the things may be wrong. There was this thing which I heard that your CV or resume should not be like more than one page. Like this is why my publications didn't end up in my resume.
I
Do you
mean,
think
you are a PhD student, your CV should not be look like a bachelor's.
so? It's fine if it's like a bit longer then, right?
I'm not saying write your where you sleep, where you walk, and all that. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it's a relevant information, people should know, right? You're a PhD, as I
yeah.
said.
Yes, yes, yes.
What's the difference between your CV and an undergrad CV then?
Yeah, I get your point. You're right. You're right.
Right? If you ask my personal opinion, I always have
Mm.
3 or 4 or 5 page CV, which has a very relevant information, right from my academics, awards I won, things that I have participated, where I have volunteered, what scholarships I got, what projects I have worked in. I'm
Yes.
not saying I'm going to write my thesis in my CV. You understand my point? There is
Yes,
difference.
I get your point. So it's like painting a complete picture.
Of course, I mean, as I said, there has to be a difference between a CV between undergrad, masters, and PhD.
Okay.
Undergrad can have a one-page CV, that's fine. A master's can have a two-page. A PhD, I think a 3, 4 page CV is not a bad CV. It's they should have that, but that
Yes.
for that matter, it should have that content too. It should not. You're not gonna
Yeah, yeah,
make your 5 page CV, but writing abstract of your thesis.
yeah, yeah. I see
That's
your
my
point.
point. It has, so look at your CV, right? You should have education, your experience,
Hmm,
your software skills, your
hmm,
project you have done,
hmm.
your scholarships, your awards you have won,
Yeah,
your organizations that you have participated,
right,
your publications, your Google Scholar ID,
right,
your all the relevant information, your presentations,
right,
your books you have written, your books you have edited.
right.
I mean, just tell me if that doesn't look like a good PhD student CV.
Yes, yes. You are right. You are right.
So people can say whatever they want. I personally think
Yes,
that
that's
is,
what I wanted to hear actually. Yeah, you
but
are right.
but as I said, people probably are saying it because they don't want you to write your thesis there. That's my point. Because a lot of students do that too.
No,
I'm not saying that at all.
actually, the reason why like the people who told me was where like only in case of like applications where I hand over my CV like to the company in person. They are like if it
You
is
have to
more
sponsor
than
the visa.
they are like if it is more than one page, then they might not turn to the other page and things like that.
Right now, I can tell you that for sure. If you are looking, Neil, that if you are looking to apply for an internship at a mom and pop store, they may need a one-page CV. But if you're looking into a
Right. Okay.
companies like Rolls-Royce and
Right.
Apple and all that,
Right.
you have to have you have to present yourself in a way the person you're interviewing with, and that person is from MIT, had a PhD. You
Yes.
understand my point?
Yes. 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 Yes.
They have to look into your CV and says, this looks a complete perfect CV. Yeah, you are
Right.
absolutely right. If you're looking into mom and pop
Yes.
store,
Yes.
that might be okay,
Yes.
and that's your decision then.
No, I get the picture. Yes, you
But
are
I'm
right. Yeah,
wrong.
you are right.
What do you think?
So yeah,
Impressions are you?
I definitely agree with all of your points. So I made this,
I know.
well, it's kind of a mistake that I put all the information on like another site, which is like a website. But now I understand that in that way they will not be able to see it like straight away if it's not on my CV. So it's
After my
it's
PhD. Yep, go ahead.
yeah. So it's better to put it like on the CV rather than have a separate website for that. So yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I hope I conveyed my message, what I
Yes,
said.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but that's a very common misconception.
Right,
It's
right, right.
I don't think, that's what I want to be clear that what I said, difference between undergrad, masters, and a PhD,
Yes,
because you're
yes,
looking into a better organization where you are. What there is a reason why you are doing PhD, right?
right, right,
You want to be at a place where you would be valued. What you have learned is valued in a that way. The quality that you are presenting.
right.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that answers my question. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. What's next?
I think yeah, my next question was about uh, let me see. Yeah. So about this, like how do you like sort of balance between uh, like publishing like a good number of papers during your PhD, and also sort of preparing yourself for industry, if you prioritize industry over academia, like right after your PhD.
I mean, that is totally up to you. I mean, you have to first of all understand what you want to do, right? You can't say I want to do this, but if I don't get this, I will do this. You have to have one priority, right? For example,
Right.
people go for a PhD
Hmm.
because they want to become a professor, right?
Usually, yes.
People want to go for a PhD because they like what they are interested in and they want to apply it in academics, right?
Right.
Sorry,
Right.
industry, whatever.
Right.
So if you know what you want to do, as I said, is if you want to do if you want to join in academics, you probably want to have more emphasis on your paper and publication and their quality,
Right.
right? If you want to join industry, you probably can be relaxed there and
Mhm.
probably want to do something which is more practical,
Right.
right? As you said, internships and things like that would definitely help you in that case, no doubt. Lot of times the internships leads to a full-time job. That's also true.
Right. Right.
So that's what I'm saying is like lot and that then depends on your advisor also,
Yes, definitely.
what they want, because a lot of time advisors, they want their PhD students to work in the lab during summer because that's
Right.
the only time you can work rigorously.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So it all depends on your advisor also, how what he or she is looking for too. But it is very well true is that if somebody is wants to go for industry, I would say relax in your you can go easy on your publications,
Right.
and then probably develop more skills that you are looking that industry is looking for, like leadership skills and things like that.
Okay. Okay.
Be more be a leader as
Right.
compared to somebody who is trying to look into details
Yes.
of,
Yes.
of research and
Right.
trying to push very hard to publish a paper on nature, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I got your point. Yes.
Because publishing a paper in nature definitely will help you in academics, but
Mm-hmm.
will that help you in an industry that much? I'm not sure.
Right. Right.
So evaluate what you want to do, based on then do the things that are relevant.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah. Yeah. I think um, yes, about and then you also mentioned about the green card thing. So so that thing also kind of in a way depends on having like 300 citations.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, as I said, I'm not a lawyer, but if you
mm,
but I got my green card. I can tell you the way I got it,
mm,
because a
mm,
lot of times, either if you join an industry, they apply for you, but a lot of times you're not in that position, so you probably
mm,
have to get on your own.
right.
If that is the case, which has been the case of mine and a lot of other of my friends,
Right.
you will realize that if you don't have a really good publications and with a good citations, you are not that is a tough for you.
Could you repeat that? I think uh, I
Like for
couldn't.
example, if you don't have a like for example, if you talk to a lawyer and tell him or
Mm,
her that you want to apply for a green card, they're going to ask your CV, which has your publications and all that, and with a
right.
citation. And if you don't have that, your chances of getting a green card in a category that you wanted to have, you don't want to get green card in certain categories where you have to wait for 10,
Right.
15,
Right.
20
Right.
years.
Right.
So if you want to get a green card in the certain categories, which are which are very which are
Faster.
faster, right? You have to have really good amount of publications with a huge number of citations.
So are you also saying that that can also happen like while you are working in the industry?
Yeah, but in that case, usually when you go for industry, they apply on your behalf, but still then you will need publications and things like that. Although it's much easier, as I said, it's much easier because then they have to justify why they are applying for your green card. They probably have to say a lot of things great about you and the technology that you are working in. That's their
Mm,
responsibility. But if you're
yes,
doing on your own, then it becomes your responsibility.
yes, I get it. Yeah.
Like for example, I will tell you very specific, like EB1A. If you go to USGS website, you will see
Yes,
EB1A and EB1B.
yes,
EB1A is where you apply on your own behalf.
right.
EB1B where the industry is applying on your behalf.
Mm, mm,
A lot of time industry doesn't do that. They apply on EB2 so that they can keep you longer.
right.
But if you apply on your own behalf, which as I did, then you need a good amount of publications and citations. That's the like the
Okay,
number one, I would say.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, I think I got answers to most of my questions. Let me see if I have something else. Mm. Yeah, about yeah, this one thing which I was very curious to know about. So when you work in the industry during a PhD, say doing an internship or a co-op, so what would be like your preference of like working in the area? Like, should it be very much related to what you are doing in your PhD, or it can be like very different? Because in terms of the time, like that is what like some advisors tell their students is that if it's like really different, then those time in the summer or the time during the co-op is not contributing to the PhD, like in terms of the graduating time. What do you think about that?
That's, as I said, that's personal, right? That's between you and your advisor, and your advisor is right.
Right.
I mean, there is no brainer. I mean, they want you to spend more time to do
Hmm.
work on your thesis because at the end you have to graduate also, right? And they can't let you graduate without
Right, right.
without something. So
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, that's as I said, this is a very complicated questions. I Every PhD students want to do internship, but as I said, not every advisor
Right, right.
agrees to it. So it there is a reason why they say that,
Hmm,
because
hmm.
they are paying for you and they don't
Right,
want you to wander around and do nothing in summer and come back and start to get paid again and doesn't
right,
do anything. You know what I mean?
right, right, right,
I mean that's how every advisor thinks. This is not something new.
right. So yeah, from like a student's perspective, like this is how we should be planning, right? Kind of balancing both the things.
Again, as I said, this is between you and your advisor. A lot of time,
Yeah.
if you agree on something, that's fine, but you don't want to piss off your advisor and go for internship. That's for sure.
Yes, right, 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 right.
Because if you do that, then you will be in big trouble. Not
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there is something wrong, but as I said, you don't
It's
want
the
to
relationship
you
between
don't want to
the
come out
student
as
and
a
the advisor.
selfish person also, right? So
Right, right.
but if you talk to your advisor and they agree, I mean, that's fine. Because then you can arrange how much work you have to do because there is expectation from your advisor what they want you to do, right?
Yes, I mean that is I understand that completely. Like I was more curious in terms of like while the student usually knows his sort of his work or his path during his PhD, what he's gonna be working on at least for the next year. But like suddenly when he goes for an internship, although he has an idea what he will be working on in the industry, but it might also be somewhat different than what he has expected. So that is fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really can't comment too much on it because that's between, as I said, between you and your advisor. So,
Yeah, okay, I got it. I got it.
but
That's
as
fine.
I said, the only thing I can tell you is don't
Hmm.
piss off your advisor.
Yes, right.
Do whatever you want, but don't piss that person off because
Yeah,
then,
he would give my degree.
yeah, then as I said, if that person is going to piss you off, you're not going to like it.
Right, right. Okay, I think yeah, I think you have answered all my questions.
Cool,
So
Neil. It was nice talking to you, and keep in touch, okay?
yeah, I'll surely, and thank you so much for your
Hopefully
valuable
this
time.
helps. But as you said, I think you are in right direction. The only thing when I look at your CV,
Hmm.
what missing is, as I already mentioned to you.
Yes, I got it. I'll make changes
Yeah,
accordingly.
that's you probably have to work on it. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.